Start with the gentleman on my left, Colonel Terry Virts of the Air Force, tremendous friend and comrade to bounce ideas off of. He would check my six to make sure I had thought of anything and everything, but if I didn't, he would think of them at timely points in the flight and kept me on track. And he also kept the crew together. As you know him, he's a very friendly guy, and he was kind of the big toe of the crew. My favorite moment of Terry was what I think was a typical moment for him. We were doing EVA-1, and I was on the flight deck very focused on my task in association with that. And while we were doing that, he was docking Tranquility to the space station. And it was something that required particular judgment and skill. Everything didn't go exactly as planned, but he did it quietly and said, "Hey, it's done." And that to me is the mark of an expert pilot, and that's Terry Virts. Okay, next to him is Kay Heyer. Kay on our crew is known for her particular attention to detail, and I'm not sure if that arose from many years ago when she was flying P3s. She I think she caught an odor, and she suspected a fire on board the P3, and she actually dug out some panels, and she found that there was, in fact, a wire, and she was able to put it out. But as a result of that, I think, she has a tremendous grasp of details and is always making sure we think of everything. And so she was a tremendous asset to us in that manner. Kay had very many fine moments on the flight. The one that I treasure, and it's certainly not her best moment, but it's one of the great moments. You all saw it if you were watching the landing last night. She had perfect landing video up. I've never seen such a nice picture, and those who have tried to arrange that picture know how much of a trick that can be. So that was all done by Kay, so kudos to her. And next to Kay is Steve. Steve was our veteran flyer, and he was the spine on which much of the flight rested. I enjoyed watching. Steve was so special because he's so technically gifted, but he's also, I think, being a musician may have part of it. He's also a bit of an artist, and he's able to appreciate moments. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching Steve go through his tasks and enjoy every minute of it. And in fact, he'd stop to pause and just marvel at what was going on. And that made it special. I was typically rushing through things and thinking of the next thing, and he was stopping and just marveling. And one such moment is my favorite moment of Steve was when he was berthing the OBSS, the boom, and he seemed to enjoy it. You think he was carving a sculpture or something, but it was beautiful work, and it was beautiful flying with Steve. Thank you very much for everything you did, Steve. And next to Steve is Nick Patrick. I have so much to talk about with Nick. Heard some fans out in the crowd. Nick did so many things well, whether it was deorbit prep or his spacewalks or moving PMA-3. He was always conscientious and aware, and he did all his tasks with a certain, how did the French say it? I don't know what. But he was just a tremendous member to have, and I think my favorite view of him is just him up on the cupola, removing some of those bolts on the shutters and seeing the sun come up on him as he was doing that task. It was just wonderful. Thank you, Nick, for the wonderful job you did. And next to Nick is Bob Behnken. Gosh, I call Bob Behnken my secret weapon, although that would be a sign of my own lack of intelligence because it's not so secret. Bob is a tremendous crewmate. He's fierce, focused, and skilled on the inside. On the outside, he's very friendly and considerate. So he's a raging storm wrapped in a gentle breeze. I can't think of a finer or more capable gentleman, not only in EVA, but just about every task he was at, he'd come at it quietly and then he'd get it done in a manner that was just superb. And my favorite moment of Bob is, gosh, it was several moments associated with the ammonia lines being hooked up to Node 3. Some of it was in Huntsville when he was working with the team there and being very gracious to the team and thankful, and they were terrific in their support. And then taking that very difficult task on orbit and just making it look extremely, extremely easy. So thank you, Bob, for your skill and for your support during the flight. And thanks to you all for coming. It's wonderful to see you here. I'm going to let Terry take the microphone.